Welcome back to PSC's Tech Bytes. Today we keep on talking about how to develop real-life solutions with adaptive card extensions and SharePoint Framework. And specifically I want to explain you how you can consume SharePoint Online data within your ACs. In fact, in SharePoint Framework, generally speaking, you can easily consume SharePoint Online data either using the context object of SPFx and the SP HTTP client, or using PnPjs, or even using low-level REST API requests. Personally, I use PnPjs as much as I can because I think it is a really powerful library that we can use to develop real enterprise-ready solutions. And whenever you will consume SPO data in your SPFx component or in your ACs, if you are in an adaptive card extension, you can easily set the data that you get from SPO into a state property and actually make data binding to the UI of your card views and quick views. So, like always, let's move to the demo environment and let's see how to do that in practice. So let's imagine that we want to data bind an adaptive card extension to a list of Microsoft lists, or either way to a SharePoint Online list, which under the cover is exactly the same thing. So here I have an issue tracker list that I created for the sake of making an example, in which I have 4 items. 2 of them are new and the others are in progress and won't fix. Then we have an adaptive card extension running in the workbench, and here we can see that we are rendering a query against the list of issues, and specifically I can see that I have 2 new issues, and if I click on the View All Issues button, I can see all of the issues that I have in my backend list. If I click on the Edit button and we have a look to the settings of this adaptive card extension, we can see that we can configure the title of the list that we want to bind to the UI of the adaptive card extension. So how did I create it? Well, first of all, I defined an issue service in my solution, and this issue service provides a couple of methods. A get issues, which will give me back all of the issues as an array of issue object based on the name of the list, of the target list, and get issues by status, which will still require the name of the list and the status to filter the items that I want to retrieve from the issue list. Internally, in those 2 methods, I simply rely on PnPjs, so sp.web.lists. I get the list with that specific title, I make my selection of fields, and I get all of the items that I will map to the array of issues that I want to retrieve. Or, in the other scenario, if I want to filter by status, I will make a camel query and then still get all of the items and make a map to the array of issues. Once I have defined this service, which will rely on this issue definition where every single issue has a title, a priority, and a status, I can see what I've done in my adaptive card extension type. And specifically here, I define my adaptive card extension, which will rely on a properties interface which defines also the title of the issue list, as well as a state interface which is based on 2 arrays, the all issues and the new issues 1. So that in the onInit method of my adaptive card extension, after registering the card view and the quick view of my ACE, I can set up the PnPjs context providing the SPFx context as an input argument. And then, in order to not block the onInit method, I set a timeout of half a second to start loading the issues list, I mean. In the load issues method, which is an asynchronous one, I simply check if I have the issue list title. If not, I will simply return because I cannot make a query if I don't have the name of the list, the title of the list that I want to query. Otherwise, we can use this service to get the whole issues and the list of issues by status where the status is new. Simple as that. Once we have got the 2 arrays of issues, we simply configure the state of the adaptive card extension. Moreover, in the adaptive card extension class, we also redefined, overrided the onProperty pane field changed method, so that whenever there will be any changes in the property pane, if the changes are for the issue list title and the issue list title has a proper value, we can reload the issues, because it means that someone configured for the first time the issues list title or changed the title of the issues list title. That said, let's have a look to the card view. In the card view of this ACE, we simply have the definition of our primary text for the adaptive card, and here in the card view we define that the primary text will be a string in the resource strings of my adaptive card extension, and the description will be a generated string in which I will read the length of the array of new issues, so that I will be able to show that we have 2 new issues in our issues list. Okay? Then, if we click on the button that will show the quick view, so this one, we'll see a complete list of issued items. So we are going to show this quick view card, and in this one, the iQuickView data will have a title and again the 2 arrays of all issues and new issues, just for the sake of completeness. Here we provide the content of the actual content of this interface definition, and we simply rely on the state object again. So all the issues and the new issues rely on these 2 state properties. And then we use this JSON adaptive card template to render the card. As you already saw in the previous episode, and if not, I would suggest you to give an eye to episode 177. Well, here we define the adaptive card JSON, where we render the title, and then we define a column set for the title of our grid of issues that we have in this list. So we define the status, the issue, and the priority titles for the grid. And then we have another container with another column set which will render for every issue in the all issues array that we have in the data bound to this adaptive card. And for each and every single issue, we render the title, you see, $curly bracket title, and then we render the priority as well as, of course, the status. Simple as that. And by doing that, our adaptive card will be able to consume SharePoint Online data and to bind SharePoint Online data into the UI of the client. Like always, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you next week. And remember, subscribe to this channel. Thank you.